Welcome to the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Pallavi.
I'm Zara.
And I'm Fizza.
And our guest today is the super funny, amazing comedian Amber Nelson.
Yay! Thank you.
What a delight. What a joy to be here.
That's how I feel when I run into you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you're super fun and like you're so positive. And
Thank you. I try to be positive because sometimes all you have is your attitude in this world, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
That is so great. How do you do that?
I don't know. I force myself to.
We were, when I was running an open mic, Amber was there and she was waiting so long to get up and she was just like super positive about it. She was just like, well, yeah, this is what we do.
There's worse things, you know what I mean?
Where are you from, New York, though?
I was there for 12 years.
And wow, you're still able to see the silver lining and stuff? Like,
You smile so much. How
I don't know. Well, I forced
you got out
myself.
alive.
I
You got
did-
out of the
did.
city alive.
Well, I think New York is like very good for women. Like it teaches you to like stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And like if you're not a bitch, then it's like, what are you doing here? You know?
yeah.
So I think that's, that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
There was this guy one time on the subway. This is like when I first got there. And he was in a suit and a smile. And he's like, Miss, you dropped your $1. And I was just checking my jacket for $1 because I wanted some candy. And I was like, oh, no, sir, that's not my $1. And he was like, no, you dropped it. Take your $1. And he took a step forward. And I'm like a good Southern girl. So I never like said anything to a man negative before. But I was like, that is not my $1. Go away from me right now. And then his smile dropped. And he was like, all you women do is you take and you take and you take. And I'm going to take from you. And the train came and I like lost him. But I read in the Post that he was a serial rapist.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like his first step. He was like a psychotic dude who would just like, you take the $1. And that was like the first step in his little game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, that's wild.
How'd you did it? Your like niceness has like a certain radar to it.
Jeez.
So that's amazing.
I think you have to. It's like
Yeah.
a yin yang. Because if you're always nice, then it's like you're going to die.
That's so funny. You have to have like the survival instincts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Just
good.
did not want to take $1 that wasn't yours.
Yeah.
And you just knew. How did you find out that he was a freaking serial rapist? Like, you just saw his picture and recognized it, or it was a big story?
It was like a smaller story in the Post. And it was just like, man gives out $1 and the women who take it, he like follows him on the subway. And his big thing is like using women's natural tendency, or a lot of women's natural tendency to like not want to rock the boat, and to be like, I guess he's kind of weird, but I'll just kind of sit here. And then he follows you home. And then,
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Good to know. So for the women in New York, don't take money from anyone you don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You said that it was part of your like Southern upbringing. So you grew up in the South, right? Like you in like Louisiana and Georgia, right? So what was like your...
That's correct. Yeah, I grew up around a lot of places. My mom was getting her teacher's license, so we had to keep like moving to different states. Louisiana, I guess, is where I'm from because that's high school and college. I'm glad I had those moments, but I would say the South has like really changed from when I grew up. Like it used to be everybody was poor, but we were always like working hard. The goal was to get your daughter to go to college. The food was fresh and fresh grown, and like, people would have like hot boiled peanut stands and whatever. But now it's like there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of like real poverty. Like it looks like third world poverty.
Real poverty and like fast food in every corner, and every
Absolutely.
southern city looks the same.
Which town did you grow up in, or city?
I went to high school in Franklinton, Louisiana.
Is that like a
Real small.
rural area?
Yeah.
Okay, you're like I don't meet very many people from Louisiana, but you're like maybe the 9th or 10th person I've met. And it's just, I don't know. It's like you all have this like warm, like just like this ambiance that just like exudes like, how do I feel happy talking to her right now?
It's very peaceful.
It is very peaceful. Is that something that you're just like trained in in
think
Louisiana?
so.
It's part of the culture there?
Southern charm.
I guess so. But hey, I know people from other states that
They're just
don't have the
mean.
charm. Yeah.
Snippy and mean.
Yeah.
I mean, Louisiana is like, it's a lot of like back roads and like babbling brooks and like a dog sleeping on your porch, It's real
Yeah.
easy.
It's like everything you imagined in movies from like the 50s or whatever.
I'm staying in this apartment now, and there's this dog, and it likes me, and it slept at the foot of my bed last night.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it's great.
On the floor or on your bed?
On the bed, which is bad. That's really bad.
No, it's good.
No, it's good. My dog sleeps in my bed.
Yeah.
It's so good.
This is love. Yeah.
Did you grow up with like pets and stuff or?
Yeah, I mean, I had to like, they were always like from Walmart, you know,
Oh God.
when people like had a box of kittens out front of Walmart, or
Yeah.
like puppies that would just like come from the woods, you know, like nobody ever goes to buy a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I also did some research and found out that you spent part of your upbringing in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I was born there.
What? How did this explain everything?
Yes, please.
My dad got a job over there. He was in the States sandblasting submarines to clean them. And he knew a lot about like big machines and how to fix them and make them run. And he got a job for Aramco. And then they left, I think in the 70s. And they lived in Saudi Arabia for like a good 10 or so years.
Ooh.
And then I was born.
So you were born there and then you had to get like U.S. citizenship later?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because there's no dual
Oh.
citizenship.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you are a Saudi citizen.
For like 3 days. But then I raised my little baby hand and they made me American.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cute. No, but isn't that the birthright thing? Like if your parents are citizens, then yours. Well, that's what Trump is trying to get rid of right now. But
Yeah.
if that was in practice at that time, then you wouldn't have just been.
Well, your parents are citizens.
American citizens.
They're
yeah.
American citizens.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
she
you-
was born in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
So I just have to stay there.
She's like, you're stuck.
No. There was this guy, I'm a bartender during the day, and this guy came in. He's a Saudi man, and he said he learned I was from Saudi Arabia, and it piqued his interest. And he was like, oh, you should, if you became a dual citizen, you could get free scholarship money in America, and you can go to any school you want. And I was like, well, you can't really be a dual citizen. And he was like, yes, you can. And I was like, and part of me was like, well, I guess he's a man, so I don't know. And he said, no, I work in this. And then I was like, wait, you really can't? And he said, well, first you got to like denounce American citizenship and then apply to be a Saudi, like, he made it sound really weird and
Yeah.
very sketchy.
Yeah.
And he's like, go to the Saudi consulate today. And we worked on the speech I would give about how like, he was like, what do you remember? And like, I told him the things I remembered and I loved. And he's like, say everything. Tell me, repeat it again. And I was like, I got to look this up, man. And he's like, don't look it up. Just go to the Saudi consulate.
Weird.
And I was like, I'm going to look it up. And if I would have did what he would have done.
And then you found out he was also a rapist.
Yeah. And then he was like, take this $1. And you were like, no, I don't take tips at my job anymore.
Yeah, but I would have been like, I would have been down at like a full Saudi woman and probably like kicked out immediately and have to live in Saudi Arabia as a Saudi woman today.
Whoa, so was this a conspiracy? Because if he was if he worked in this field, he should have known.
No, he was trying to trick her into being a Saudi woman.
Yeah.
But see, that's so interesting because I was in Saudi recently, and there's different classes of people. There's like the Saudi natives of the Saud tribe, those type of Arabs, and then there's like a ton of South Asians, and they're the working class people. So it's just like, and then women across the board are just are really a second class citizen in a way.
Yeah.
Third, maybe.
Third
after the expats.
Sixth, I don't know, depending. But like, I mean, I don't know. It's just. Do you remember anything from
Yeah,
that?
well, I was gonna say, what did you love, and when did you leave?
I left at 7.
Okay, so you remember some stuff.
Some stuff. And when you're a kid, the Sharia law doesn't impact you. So you
Yeah.
can just kind of like run around and play. So I had some very fond memories of like the markets being very bustling. And like I walked into a man's only tent one time and they all laughed because I was a little girl.
Yeah.
But, not today if I was a woman. The sunsets were incredibly beautiful. Just like this like red and pink just kind of melting into the sand.
Have you been back?
I haven't been back now.
Yeah, it's fine until you hit puberty, and then
Yeah.
it's just
And then
everything
they're like,
changes.
cover
And then it
everything.
goes downhill.
Yeah.
You can play in regular clothes there.
How did you notice any effect on your mom?
Well, she had to cover a lot, and I saw her because we live there with the Matawa, which I don't think are around anymore, but they're these like religious police that enforce the law. And she had her ankle showing, and he like switched her.
Oh,
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
That's
my
crazy.
father threw her in a car, and they like ran away. But yeah, he was just like, in Saudi words, he's like, "You watch after your woman,"
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, because the woman is the man's responsibility.
Yeah, the property.
Yeah, ankle cleavage is a thing in Saudi Arabia. It's actually like a running international joke where you have to be really careful because men will come up to you and think you're a prostitute if your ankles are showing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's so weird. I feel like when you give people what they want, they almost get angrier. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oh.
Because women were like, well, I guess we'll cover up everything. And they were like, but I still see ankles. Like they just get mad.
Yeah.
And it's just what really bothered me when I was there was just the burden of essentially not getting harassed or raped was on the woman.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of it was very exaggerated there. I think that's everywhere in a way, but it was just like, cover your ankles. Otherwise, it's your fault. You're asking for it if your ankles are showing. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what dude's trying to fuck ankles? Like, why?
I mean, look, if you haven't seen leg in years and you see a little bit of ankle, like, you might be thirsting for that ankle. So it's the dude who hasn't seen, anything.
Yeah, but then the dude
the
did it.
incel of Saudi.
They did it to themselves. They're causing all this repression. They made these rules, and now they're the ones that are repressed, and then the women have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, the royalty and it's a huge family there. They're not repressed. They're probably doing whatever they want.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, after the consulate thing, when you said the consulate, I was like, yeah, don't ever go to the Saudi consulate. That sounds terrifying.
Well, that was premeditated, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but
Well, it's still wild.
yeah, the Khashoggi. Yeah. And also I think that like I personally didn't know what's his name? The Saudi prince who's like kicked everybody out of power.
The sitting prince.
I keep thinking of him as MLB, but I know he's not baseball.
I forget his name too.
Salman, something bin Salman, I think.
So MBS, that's what it is. So yeah, like thinking about, I didn't know any of the history of this until this event happened with Jamal Khashoggi.
Yeah.
And then after that, like realizing like all of the dictatorship moves that he's made and like how controlled it is. It's like terrifying.
Yeah, people think he's a great guy, but he's pretty terrifying.
I mean, he's part of the wheel.
They marched out Khashoggi's son to like make nice with him, the man who murdered his father.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
There was what I find interesting is the women drivers. So there was enough women that started driving that it had to be a movement.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. They weren't like, let's give women the right to drive. Nobody would ever do that. It was just enough women protested.
They were activists
that they had to make it a thing. But no one knows what happened to those women.
Yeah, there was the first one who like the one who spoke out the most about it and like led that movement.
She was in prison.
She's
She's disappeared.
probably dead.
Quote unquote disappeared.
And that was the whole reason I think Canada spoke out against it. Actually, a week before I went to Saudi Arabia, and Saudi's response was to remove the scholarship money of all the Saudi students who were studying in Canada. Everyone had to just leave.
What?
Isn't that insane?
Just for speaking out and condemning, not even condemning. I think it was a mild criticization.
Yeah.
Criticism.
I mean,
criticization. I'm from Florida. I'm ratchet. It was very
Florida
mild.
woman.
Yeah.
Very mild, and their response was so exaggerated for basically having an opinion that wasn't favorable to them.
But what I find is crazy is that they react the way that like a teenage boy in a relationship would react. Like they're just so emotionally immature.
Yeah.
And you think like you're running a country, you have power, you're educated. Like what is going on? Like it's like I guess it comes from a lifetime of not never hearing the word no.
Yeah.
That's a danger with the words that are coming out of like our administration now. It's like because they've been so kind to Saudi Arabia and they've said out loud that they don't want to like endanger their business partnerships with them.
Yeah.
They're like,
the U.S. and Saudi are buddies.
Yeah, they're completely condoning murder.
U.S. wants to be Saudi Arabia. And I think we're going to start seeing some social shifts. And in about 10 years, it's going to be a completely different landscape. America. I mean, maybe that's like conspiracy theorist of me, but I do ultimately feel that Trump loves how the dictatorship is handled.
Yeah.
How like
he wants an imperialistic society. He wants to be sitting at the table with Putin and Ben, what's his name?
MBS.
Yeah. Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
That's just like he doesn't give a shit about society and progress.
MBS. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
He wants to live the fucking life of of a monarch.
get all the gold, all the jewels.
Yeah. But even then, like at most, he's got maybe another like 6 years. Hopefully not. But
he's joked about like being president forever.
I don't know if he's going to do it. I don't know.
I mean, look, if the Supreme Court situation is very dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. And I don't, without checks and balances, who knows what can happen, honestly.
I mean, there haven't been checks and balances from Congress or there have been no checks and balances since he's been in office.
But this is even more severe.
Yeah, this is. It is more severe.
Yeah,
there's less of a buffer between this and sanity.
Yeah. What did he have? $200,000 in debt? And then it just disappeared. What happened? Who paid him off? So obviously he owes somebody a favor,
Yeah. I mean, it's just all trash.
It's all trash.
I don't even know what to believe anymore. It's just because there's so much information coming at us too. The way that this news cycle is even with comedy, something I joked about 2 weeks ago is not even relevant anymore.
Yeah.
It's just so it does make my brain hurt a lot. And at some point it's you feel so defeated and you're all right, Trump, just run your dictatorship. It's fine.
That's part of the thing. That's part of the plan is to make everybody feel so defeated they can't do it anymore.
Because it is exhausting.
How much outrage can one just sustain, eventually it becomes normalized.
But I do feel like it is all of these terrible things are becoming normalized on a large scale. But what gives me a little bit of hope is that it seems like different groups are taking the mantle for different issues, right?
Well, this
and so
was
then
very
it's
activating.
it cycles through. I feel exhausted at certain times, and then other times I'm all right, I'm gonna donate to this thing or do this thing, and then I just get tired again, and then I resurface later.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of go through that.
I do this thing where when I'm eating or when I take little moments and I put my phone in another room. So even if I can't even hear a notification pop up, and I'm just I want to enjoy my yogurt and blackberries and then pet this dog and sit on my porch.
Presents. I love it. Just getting ultra present. That's
yeah, that's what
dope.
I did this morning. That was my breakfast. And I loved it.
Yay.
That's why she's happy.
Yeah. See, women love yogurt.
We love it.
Women love berries.
Yeah.
And dogs.
I mean, we're always in yogurt commercials. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't, it's been a day. So I'm looking through all this now. You have a very impressive comedy journey.
I do?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, I feel like I'm not doing enough.
I mean,
We all feel that.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's just normal.
Yeah.
That's just normal.
But I don't have you seen her perform?
I haven't, and now
so
I'm
fucking funny.
well,
Dude,
thank you.
You're so fun. The first time I saw it, we were on that show together, right? Where it was Mirror is what it was. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But we you look into a mirror and you tell jokes, and there's no audience, and it's a talk show type thing, but with only a host.
Yes.
And that's where I met her, and she was there's kind of a laugh track, and it's weird, but she was so fucking funny. I was dying in the back, trying not to be too loud for the recording. But yeah, you're very silly, and you're not afraid to explore and stuff. It's
thank
a
you.
fun style.
So you do stand up and sketch.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, or you love them both?
I love them
your
both.
children?
I think sometimes you have an idea and you're this might work out better to be seen and played out. And sometimes you're this works better spoken, So it kind of depends.
So you have a live sketch background, which is that's a rigorous medium.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Mod team. I was on a mod team in New York for years. It was so much fun because you would work on the show all month.
So I don't think our listeners know or are familiar with the Upright Citizens Brigade as much as we are in the room. So UCB has an improv team, and it's the house star improv team called the mod team.
The improv's Herald or mod?
I'm sorry, it's the sketch. Sketch is mod, Herald is improv.
Yeah.
Right.
And we were starting when early on, so nobody was even really at the shows, and then watched it grow. But some of my favorite moments were the show's running long, so you got to cut a sketch or cut down these lines, and in the heat of the moment, and you just remember the words and then go out there and all right, fuck, I got to cut that line and add this and turn over here and spin over there. All right, great, and then open the door and go.
It's SNL.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been on SNL, but it's that same
But you will.
format.
We're putting it in the universe. It's going to happen.
Hear that, Lorne? He's an avid listener, so we got to tell him what to do sometimes.
We do have his email now.
Lauren, we'll see you in New York.
Did you see that?
I don't know. Never mind.
We do, but it's like one of those. Never mind. I'm not gonna. Put
We don't even know. We don't even know if we have real emails.
Do you ever get these like crazy emails that you have like no business getting, like
or like contact information for like celebrities, and you're just like, I can never use this.
Oh yeah, this like in my phone, I have like TJ Miller's number, and I'm like, if somebody ever stole my phone, they would just like call these people.
I have my whole what's it called, Rolodex from when I worked in production or for a producer, and I have like Emilio Estevez's number. And hey Emilio, I don't even know if he remembers me from 10 years ago.
But you want to come to our show?
Red hair or something. But yeah, if you want to come to our show,
be on our podcast.
might throw you on our mailing list. But you can always say you want to opt out.
Yeah, some of those celebrities have like basic emails, like Tom Cruise at hotmail.com, you know, and then like that's how you can reach him.
Why is he still using Hotmail?
Because he's the only one.
Did you really think,
Nobody would
did you really think that Tom Cruise would be like super into like Gmail and like you think Tom Cruise is on top of that shit?
TomCruise@me.com.
Yeah, Tom Cruise at TomCruise.com. Tom Cruise at Scientology.com.
Yeah, exactly. The Scientology Celebrity Center. Have you guys been there?
You told me your experience about it.
I don't know if I brought it up on the show, but like a friend lived right by there, and I was picking her up, and a guy comes out of a black van. There's a bunch of guys in suits.
Was it John
surrounding him.
Travolta?
I don't know, because his face was completely covered in a bandage like a mummy, and his
Face
hands
off.
were too. Yeah, and then the people in the black suits had on like a black hood, like a black hooded KKK thing, but it was not white.
Like an initiation.
And then she got freaked out, my friend. So she's like, drive. But like, I think they were escorting him into the building, the mummy guy.
Oh my God, were they going to hurt him?
I have no idea. I mean, she got nervous and.
That sounds like when I got initiated into my sorority. A little bit. I don't know.
Something
Maybe.
about frat parties and Xenu. I can't remember.
I don't know. Something like that.
But a friend, like, apparently you can get tea or something at the Celebrity Center.
They have brunch too.
Have you been there?
One time,
You look like you may brunch with the Scientologists.
Sure, I'll show up, but I don't want all the emails. You know, I don't want phone calls.
I walked past one of the Scientology centers in like Pasadena with my mom, and she like didn't know what they were doing, and she like took a cookie from them, and I was like, Mom, don't interact with them, and she was like, should I not eat the cookie? Like she thought it was like poison.
Don't eat the cookie.
I was like, no, I'm sure the cookie's fine.
Fuck the cookie.
Man, LA's weird. I find that it has more cults and religions here than any other place I've lived.
A
Yeah.
lot of room for existential exploration here.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of
You can
sadness
create religions here.
and loneliness.
You
so
can tax-free money.
I guess so.
That's
I
how
was
we gotta
thinking
do
about.
There's a void for it to just sort of creep into, you know, and a lot of people.
Do you guys think you would be good cult leaders? I was thinking about this the other day. I think I wouldn't be a good cult leader because I don't like people that much. I'd be like, don't ask me, go ask somebody else. I'd be like the dad of the cult, like ask your mother.
Yeah. I mean, they say a lot of cult leaders have psychopathic qualities.
So would you be good at? No. Would you take this dollar?
I have empathy. Okay.
I know.
I think it depends on the person. Like in a way, like I feel like in entertainment, you kind of have to like lead your own cult.
Yeah.
You know, because you got to believe in your own crazy, and you got to believe that you're gonna make it. And I don't know, maybe cult leaders and entertainers have something in common. Because if you think of Will Smith, like Will Smith is leading his own cult, and that shit is hilarious and it's fun, and I watch it every day because it makes me feel better.
What's his whole cult? What's his cult?
He's just very inspirational on his Instagram. His Instagram is popping.
It's the Will Smith movement, whatever it is. Will Smith 2020. Like
Also,
I'm for it.
I didn't know.
Also, you guys, Bad Boys 3 is happening.
Yeah.
Oh.
See?
I know he announced it today.
Like I would follow Will Smith into something, maybe. You know, like I don't know.
I would.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I always say that if I made a lot of money and shit hits the fan, I want to buy an island and have a lot of guns pointing out and like only bring like 20 people to the island, and we live there. You know, it's all
Yeah.
self-sustaining, and anybody who comes by, they get shot down. Sorry.
oh my God.
Well, no, but
What about like
That
flying
Southern
stuff?
charm. Bless your heart.
you're trying to build a wall around this island, basically.
We
Put
used to-
a wall of fear.
In college, we used to like fantasize about Science Island, and then later I was like,
Science Island,
like
stop.
because that's kind of like what my undergrad was like. It was just like all science people, right? And then later I was like, no, wait, this is Atlas Shrugged. This is not okay. Like we can't do this.
That would be Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah, just like isolating yourself and like not helping anybody else.
Oh, well. But it would be mostly women on this island. I think it would be a refuge.
Ooh, Amazonian.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I'm for it. I like this idea.
So how do you How do you get accepted to this island? Sounds exclusive. 20 people.
Yeah, what's your cult like?
I don't know. I guess I would be a bad cult leader because I'd be like, everybody get in here. But the island couldn't hold that many people, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking a small island, but enough to like grow the crops and like have some cows and some sheep and live off the land.
And train yourself against any invaders, basically.
There's an island that like people always try to fly their helicopters over, but nobody can get close because the natives will like throw rocks and spears at people. And people are like, why can't we see what they're doing? I'm like, leave them alone.
This is a real life island? Where is this?
I forget where.
Is it like Polynesia?
No, there was a recently like some video of like a tribe that had in like the Amazon or something that had never been seen before, and there was one person like crossing an opening, and that was the first time that tribe had ever been like documented.
Oh wow!
And then I saw it on like a tweet, and on the tweet it was just like, leave them alone, stay away.
Yeah.
They're trending on Twitter now.
Yeah.
They're in a better place than we are now.
Let's give them McDonald's.
No.
God.
That's where it starts.
The beginning of the end.
That's where it starts, and then you get Donald Trump as president. Blame it on McDonald's.
And then Trump is like as a cult leader. He's he becomes that sort of like God figure. He finds out like, what do you need? Let me provide that for you, so you can't survive without me. So he makes people think they need him,
But he
to
doesn't
be
even
okay.
provide shit.
Well, yeah,
He's bad at that part.
But that's the thing is like
fear.
you're it's destructive.
Yes.
It is. He really could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and still have votes. I mean, people love him no matter what.
Yeah, no one likes Yankees anyway.
He'll find a way to sycophants will find a way to justify their leader's ridiculous fucking behavior.
Yeah.
I only shot him one time. It was in the head. It's fine. It's fine. It was just one time.
He deserved it.
Like, how do you?
Did you hear about that guy that tried to get paid off a woman to say that she was assaulted sexually by Mueller?
No.
Yeah, it's all like it was all fake. But this guy like basically was going to be a character hitman for Mueller, but paid off this woman thousands of dollars for her to say that he assaulted me. She never did.
How'd the story come out?
Journalists, they figured it out.
Oh,
Good
wow.
job, lady.
Good job, journalists. And
Yeah.
they like reported, like
Journalists.
broke the story. And that's why everybody wants to kill journalists because they're just like,
Because they know the truth.
because they know the truth.
Unbelievable. So you were talking about an island of women and women kind of protecting the island. That kind of reminds me of Manhattan, actually. It is because it was just overflowing of women, and there were so many single women in that city. And I feel like we're being attacked by the fuckboys of that city all the time.
Yeah.
What was your experience? Because were you like living the Carrie Bradshaw life at any point? Like, were you living single in New York?
I was living single for a while. I
Yeah.
had sex with a lot of men, and I loved it. Yeah.
Get it.
Get it. Some of them were horrible, like this guy.
Yes, and it's
Some were good, some were bad. I went on a first date with this guy, and we slept together. And then he did something shitty to me later. I forgot what he did. And he said, "You let me fuck you without a condom on our first date." And I was like, I let you. Half of this equation is you. What do you mean? Like he put all the blame on me.
Oh, he was testing you. Was he testing you or was he blaming you?
I don't know. Some kind of shit I don't have time for.
I think they want to fuck you raw, and then when it happens, they're like, "You're a slut." And you're like, "What the fuck? Like I can't win."
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Maybe I'm just trying to get knocked up. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. Anyway,
that's it.
Somebody was on a podcast was talking about how all of the terms for fucking are like male centric, right? Because it's like banging, fucking, like whatever.
Violence.
Yeah.
It's like, should I call the FBI? Are they trying to murder somebody? Like, what's going on?
So then they came up with the term caving. Like, I'm going to cave this dude. I think it was like Anna Faris or something. She's like, yeah, I'm going to cave him. And I'm like, yeah, let's own it. We're doing it. We're doing them.
Oh my God. Have you seen the movie Teeth?
No.
It's great.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
For the listeners who don't know, it's about a woman who has vaginal dentata. It's
Is that a thing?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not.
No, it's a fictional condition.
That sounds awesome.
That's really great.
Donna.
So yeah, like a Jaws pussy.
I went on a date in LA recently, and I slept with a guy on the second date, and then we went on a third date, and then we were after the movie. He was like, "Yeah, I just got a call from my ex saying that she just had a miscarriage with my baby.
Oh, fuck.
And I never even knew she was pregnant. And I was like, how long were you, how many months ago? It's like 4 months. I was like, oh my God, I guess you got to go home and figure this out. You should go home. And I'm like looking on his Instagram page, like stalking around. And he's like liking all these like sexy girls. And I'm like, I think he lied to me.
Used a miscarriage to lie to you?
To get out of a date?
Yeah, I don't know.
What the hell?
I don't know if he lied or not, but yeah, but he's like out and like doing all these fun things. And I'm
Maybe
like,
that's how he's coping.
maybe you're right.
I don't know.
No,
I mean, who
he
knows?
totally lied to you.
Because then I texted him again. I was like, do you need any help? I'm here for you. And he's like, thanks for the sweet gesture, but I'm good. And then ghosted me.
Yeah, no, he lied to you.
He lied, or he could just be a psychopath and using it to cope. I
Either
don't
way,
know.
not good.
Either way.
Either way, better off.
Well, yeah, you dodged a bullet there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better to know now.
He did you a favor.
He did. And there was something weird because we went out to eat. I ordered a smaller thing and he ordered a bigger thing. And I put in enough for my meal, cash, plus tax, plus tip. And he's like, no, we got to split it.
Why?
No, fuck that.
And I was like, well, you got a bigger thing. And he's like, let's split it. And I was like, okay. You know, just like,
This was a date?
just on a date. And I was like, dick on the brain, like, okay, whatever. But then now I look back and I'm like, oh, he's a cheapskate.
Yeah, he took money from you.
Yeah. What
He
a
took
jerk.
money from you and then lied about a miscarriage.
What a jerk. This is why, like,
Can we put up his profile on our when we post this
Yeah.
picture?
I'm not for this. The whole, like, dating now, it's like there's an expectation because of feminism and all of this that, like, we have to go halvesies or go Dutch. And it's just like, why?
Yeah.
If you invited me out on this date, like, if I don't like you, I will pay half. So, like, there's no expectation.
If it's an expensive restaurant
Yeah.
and you invite me out, I mean, I can't afford a $50. I mean, I can afford a $50 steak, but I don't want to pay for that.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I
it's
mean?
like, it's not, was this an older dude or a millennial dude? Because I
Older
feel like, really? And he
Yeah.
insisted on you paying half?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
wild, because I thought that was a millennial thing, like 32-year-olds and younger.
No, man. 45-year-olds in this town are fucked up, too.
He kept asking my age. He kept asking my age. And I would tell him because I'm honest. I don't want to like lie. And then he just like 5 times in, and then he stopped talking. So I think he wants to date a 20-something-year-old, which is fine.
There was this like study or something that said, here I am again, my voice talking about studies. There was a study or something that said that like for women, their perfect age for a partner and a man, this is heteronormative, but it like aged as they aged, and for men it was 23. It was like no matter their age, they were like 23 sounds good.
Whoa.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because when I was 23, I was a total mess. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to afford half that date. I would have gotten very drunk and I don't know.
But then they could have manipulated you easier.
So it's
Well,
like,
that's what they want.
is the man doesn't want a partner, he wants a subservient? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Or-
that's pretty much what it is.
But then
Okay.
wouldn't you be angry that like
Interesting.
all the bills are in your name and like that's a lot of responsibility?
But if
People
you
pay a
don't-
lot to keep you quiet.
But if you never argue and you just like you just think of them as God and smart and like they just know everything,
Yeah.
and it's like you always have the upper hand.
And by a certain amount of time, you have more of your shit together. Like you'd hope in your 30s, then your 20s, your 40s, and your 30s, vice,
you got
et
money
cetera.
saved.
But like, still, it's you're taking advantage. It feels like you're taking advantage of a younger person. Like there's so many developmental milestones. Like I don't understand why you don't want an equal.
I have a
like I
question.
don't get that.
I have a question. I got in
to
an
each his own, but
I got in an
shit.
argument recently about the whole Clinton Lewinsky thing and the like power struggle between that, because she was like what 22 when he was in office.
So young.
Yeah, and so what do you like? How do you feel? Like it was consensual. It wasn't rape, unlike other accusations that have occurred against him.
Yeah.
But like for me, I'm like that is such a manipulation, and like he's literally the most powerful man in the world, and you're a fucking 22-year-old working in the White House. There's no way that could have been like an even.
Well, it's poor judgment on his end.
That's why
How much do you assign her? Because the person I was arguing with was like, well, it's like equal. Poor
no,
judgment.
it's
And
not
I'm like,
equal.
It's not.
It's
Yeah.
not equal.
Yeah,
at
in
all.
prison,
I just-
if a security guard can't have sex with the inmates,
Yeah.
because that's like it's considered
Power
rape.
struggle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about like assigning fault or whatever, like I don't know what percentage is what, but I know that she had the burden of being the quote unquote slut. Where everyone's like, leave Bill alone, let him be a man.
It ruined her life.
Why wasn't Hillary, pleasing him? That was a big one that I remember.
They just blamed all the women around
But
him.
it ruined her life. Like, she went into severe depression. She just recently surfaced, and she's like, I was 24, and this powerful man who's president, who the entire country was in love with, wanted me. And I mean, I don't know. If I was in her shoes at 24, 22, I probably would have done the same.
Yeah.
And like me coming from my like conservative religious background, like I still would have probably done the same because the president of the country.
The president says, like,
likes me.
Suck my dick.
Yeah.
I mean, is that an order?
Yeah.
He's in charge of the army, like, I don't know.
He's in charge of,
he runs the world.
Disappear people if he wanted to.
He's in charge of the world, like the free world. Like, and I mean, that I think is an attractive thing to a lot of women. If a CEO at 22, when I first started my like corporate career, if a CEO came up to me and was like, fancying me, and be like, okay, let's go on a few dates. Oh my God, I'm gonna be like the
it's not
missus.
only the
Also, the
attractive,
problem-
it's the fear.
The legal problem was not that they had sex or sexual relations or whatever. It was that he lied about it.
Yeah.
That was the issue.
Yeah.
If they fuck, that's fine. They're adults. And that's their business. That's their personal marital business. But the fact that he lied about it, and also the whole thing about taking advantage of someone who works for you, especially like when you're the most powerful person.
Yeah, and she was just reduced to a slut when you're that young working in the White House, like you have your shit together.
Yeah.
Like you have to like have worked so hard to get to that position, and then to lose it all and like get death threats and everything. That's insane.
Well, who can handle like sort of the amount of scrutiny and the backlash that she experienced in her early 20s?
Yeah.
To be slut shamed in front of the whole nation in the 90s?
And for the world, the entire world. Like, there's nowhere in the world she could have gone where she would have been safe.
On her Wikipedia page, there's like a list of like rap songs she's been referenced in.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's just in a fuck ton of songs.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Know any off the top of your head?
She has a handbag line.
Yeah, she created that when she was like in hiding, right? Like basically she like disappeared and then started making.
They do look kind of ugly, but
Didn't she sell them on QVC or something? I don't know. I think I might have seen them as well. But good for her.
Good for her.
Like, did you see her TED Talk?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. It was really good. Like an anti-bullying TED Talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Wow.
Because she's very like self-possessed in it, and like seeing her talk about her experience and like and take back her power was very like inspiring to watch.
Amber, I could see you doing a TED Talk.
Thank you. I'd love to do it.
What would you do one about?
Buffets.
Buffets bring me joy.
Yeah, they
do. Yeah.
But you got to find the right buffet. Any kind of buffet that's like a commercial thing, like
Ponderosa?
Ooh, I've never been to Ponderosa.
What is that?
I've been to Hometown Buffet,
Yeah, I've
and
been
I
there.
don't think I want to go back ever.
Yeah.
We got to steal the rolls.
Ponderosa Steakhouse.
Ooh, it sounds good.
What is that?
Is that the one
here?
where you raise the flag?
No.
That's a different one.
No, I remember a guy was taking me on a date and he asked what the buffet cost would be, and then we turned back around.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Well, a lot of those like
this was, I think, in my teens.
yeah, a lot of those commercial ones are like all sneeze, like people
Yeah.
just sneezing everywhere and your
Oh my
food
God.
and
There's
kids.
the sneeze guard's more recent, right? Like there wasn't
Yeah.
always a sneeze guard.
Really?
No, just open
Yeah,
season for
I
germs.
remember going to the Pizza Hut salad bar.
yes.
I was
And,
just
like,
thinking
growing
Pizza
up,
Hut, but
yeah.
I remember the sneeze guard.
Yeah.
No, I remember there was like a certain time where they didn't have sneeze guards because I remember at some point I still wasn't tall enough, and then I remember being tall enough, and then there were sneeze guards, and it really pissed me off.
You're like, I don't get a chance to sneeze in it.
Yeah, no, but it was just like now that I'm tall enough to reach a salad bar, you put sneeze guards in here, so now I can't. Now I have to grow more. Like I remember that happening.
Never working
It was
out
a
for you. My favorite buffet is the Bellagio, the lunch buffet.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
$40, which is a lot of money, but it is
Bellagio
in Vegas. Unlimited crab legs.
Ooh.
Unlimited.
I did
That is worth it.
The Wynn buffet,
Ooh.
and that was like I think it was more expensive. I think my friends helped me out on that one, but it was like super fancy and so good.
Oh, that's so nice. But if you were to go eat out in Vegas, that it would be more money.
Yeah.
So why not just be a big old glutton? You know, eat a lot of roast beef that they carve up and
I want those crab legs.
hell yeah.
Soho House here has a good buffet.
Soho House?
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
You got a membership? When are we going?
I mean, I'll usually tag along on someone else's. I'm not paying for that membership, but
Oh, you have to
it's
be
one
a
of
member?
those little swanky places. They have it in like London and LA and New York.
Miami.
Like you'll go there and Mindy Kaling will be sitting around. Like, it's just sort of like that
sounds fun.
that vibe.
Yeah,
but
it's fun. Next
have a
time
good
one of my
buffet.
rich friends is going to the Soho House, I'll invite you. We can go and do the buffet together.
Exclusivity. I tried to join Sanctum. It's like this crazy sex party thing. And
What?
it's like exclusive, and I like sent off all my info, and I never heard back.
That's the worst
Did
kind
you?
of ghosted.
I know.
That's not cool, but like,
I was
what
actually going to ask for a referral.
Yeah.
what is is there a questionnaire? Like, what's the application process?
It's like your job, how much your income is, what do you expect out of this, what do you want, who do you are attracted to, what's your age.
Wait, so
It's an age
interesting.
thing.
when you say it's like a sex club thing, what
It's
is
like an exclusive club, and it's all around the world, and everybody like fucks each other or something. And
So
it's
you,
supposed to
like-
be crazy.
So it's like an event or whatever, or is it just like an open club? It's like
I
a
wish.
sauna. You just walk in, you're like, I guess that one.
Yeah. Well, it's like I think some people you can also just like sit out, which is probably what I would do, but it has all these like crazy beautiful women like hanging from the ceilings and like doing all this balloon art or whatever.
Okay, because when I think
you
when I
mean
think-
like with condoms? His balloon art?
Yeah. That's what you have to convince the guy. Like, no, I'm just doing balloon art. Put it on.
Put it on.
Put it on. Whenever I think sex clubs, I think like ugly people though, because it seems like that would like some from my friends have gone to them and they show up and it's just like the grossest people.
I don't know. I think it's also just people who are curious.
Yeah, just curious. I guess that's why you got to be exclusive to get all the
Yeah.
uggos out.
I mean,
It's like the nude beach where it's just like old
the rich dudes will get in probably.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, if you have enough money.
Yeah, I think
Well, they don't need to be in an orgy club. They have their
See,
own.
this is why maybe they won't get in, and this is why they have to jerk off in front of women in comedy or jerk off at plants and stuff because they can't get into the sex clubs and
can't.
figure out their kinky shit.
well, women get to get in for free, but men you have to pay like $500,000 like initiation fee or
Ooh.
something.
So it is really rich guys.
It is really rich.
I
guys.
like these women for free things.
yeah,
Because
but
I'm a woman.
I
wonder.
don't know, because like I remember like the year after graduating undergrad, my friends wanted to go to these clubs. So we went to like Supper Club and like all these other clubs in Hollywood. And I remember just feeling like really gross because we got in because of guys they knew.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't let some of the guys in. And we went in and like the people who had the table felt like they owned us. Like they treated us like I've never been treated like
I've
that.
been in that situation.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking be here. Like they're like, they made me not talk to my friend, a male friend who was there.
Why?
Because if you're drinking their drinks, you're theirs. Like
That's so weird.
there's always strings attached. That's why like it's not free for women.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
I was in an Uber pool one time, and this beautiful young girl, she's like, "Do you want to come to this club with me? And you can get in free. We have the table." And I was like, "Yes."
I do like this accent, so I would have said yes too, for sure.
And we get in there, and then they're like, "Show the IDs, but that's okay. It's just for the cameras." And I'm like, "What? You should be 21 here. How old are people?" And they're sure enough, they're like 19-year-olds all
Oh,
in there.
God.
And we get in there, and the reason why they have the red tape and
Yeah.
the tables is because there's like 2 or 3 fucking loser dudes who have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they want all the women there for themselves
Yeah.
so they can pick and choose. And you're never just like dancing and hanging out. You're physically being moved.
Yeah.
Places.
That same shit happened. It felt awful. I literally was like, don't fucking touch me.
Yeah.
And I like walked
Because
away.
you're aesthetically more pleasing over here, you know?
It's so
I've
gross.
definitely heard about this.
They were
for
set
sure.
dressing the club with the women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very common in LA. I've been invited to these things. I just never have a chance to go because I'm busy doing comedy and I look like shit half the time at night anyway. Because
No, you don't.
why do you have to
No.
look pretty on stage? I don't. Like, that's not really my thing unless we're being filmed. But
Pretty is like part of your brand too. So you're
I'm working on it. I don't know. Like at some point, pretty is not going to work on stage.
like, you
So
don't-
you know,
Oh, well, you were raised very conservative, right? I find
Yeah.
that conservative women or women that were raised very religious, or they're like 10s, but they're like, I think I'm a 6. You know?
I didn't know I was pretty until I moved to Hollywood.
That's
Like I had
crazy.
no idea.
I was feeling more attractive since moving here. But I think part of it is
Yeah.
I think like just more dudes were just like hitting on me. And I think that's just because they'll fuck anything. So it's honestly not a compliment if you like
I don't know.
intellectualize it.
Okay, so we were talking about the New York versus LA thing earlier. So with me, I'm from there. So and you know how men treat women there for the large part. Like you could be a 10 and you're still treated like a 4 because there are so many women and men just have money. So they feel like they can just toss around women.
Yeah.
And so like I grew up in an environment where I just thought I was like any other girl, you know? And like any other girl in New York is like self-sufficient, independent, fierce, amazing, has a great set of like female friends. And so we're all amazing women, but we all feel deathly insecure about our looks because like everybody treats us like, you know, shit.
Garbage.
So, yeah.
I used to be a cocktail waitress in New York, and there was one event we had to work, and we didn't wear the uniforms. We were told to wear a black cocktail dress. So I'm kind of standing. The boss told me to like stand and greet people, and I'm standing there and I'm greeting. And then this like tall, handsome, wealthy man was talking to me, and I was just talking back, you know. And then the boss came over and he said, "Amber, we need you on table 3." And then he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I never hit on the help."
Who's wait.
Oh, the wealthy
wealthy guy, and then he like ran, kind of scuttled away.
Wow.
So that's how they like see women in different classes.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And if you're one of the rich women, you're like a breeding horse, you know, to like have the children and continue the lineage.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you're the help.
It's very classic.
The help
Like
or the whore?
old wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very old wealth. So on Wall Street, I was definitely like one of the like I felt like a workhorse. Like you're here to crunch numbers, do presentations, and that's your job. And then like all these other girls that like I thought there was like a plain Jane, and they were getting like taken out because they were from Connecticut and their parents were in the country club, and they were like getting taken out, and I'm like, how what? I don't get this. My eyelashes are totally better than hers.
Yeah,
but
Zara's
whatever,
eyelashes
fine.
are unmatched.
It's
She can't even wear glasses.
No, but
They get
it's
in the
just,
way.
But like, yeah, that's part of New York. And then you come out to LA and it's like a completely different world.
I think it's also like a race thing too, though, because like I always felt really unattractive, and it was because I was surrounded by like white people. And so like so I feel like the girls from Connecticut that you're describing, I'm assuming were white.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you experience a shift when you moved from New York to LA and just like your confidence and your talent, abilities, and all of that?
When I moved to LA, I definitely cleaned up. Like I didn't drink. In New York, I got blackout drunk every night.
Because that's part of the culture there.
That's
too.
what I hear.
And I look back at photos and I feel like I look older in New York than I do now because you just live a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah.
Comedy, I feel like it's kind of taken a swan dive for me. Like I'm not doing as well, but also it's a different kind of town, you know, like New York, you get up every single night and you do live shows. Here's more about like what scripts do you have?
Industry.
Yeah. Schmoozing, get to know people. But I think it also takes longer than people think to like succeed out here. People generally think like, oh, I go to LA and like I'm just walking down the Walk of Fame and then Quentin Tarantino will see me and I get in a movie. And that literally never happens.
He actually makes you he needs to look at your feet first,
Must
and
look at your feet.
then
Is that
then
a
you get in
thing?
the movie.
Is that a Quentin thing?
He likes
He's into the ankles too. It's a theme.
We've talked about this before, but I've legit had people ask to see my feet.
Really?
Yeah.
She has these cute little petite
But
feet.
no, like I'll get off stage and like there'll be at least like 2 creepers, at least once or twice, at least once a month.
Whoa.
Some drunk creeper will be like, "Let me see your feet." I'm like, "What the hell? Get out of here!"
That's crazy. Why do people have a foot fetish? I don't
know.
get it.
I didn't know about that until I moved here either.
I like cute feet. Like cute, even cute guy feet. I like cute feet, but like
Sexual stuff? I mean, I can't imagine like putting a toe in my pussy. That's
Ew.
weird.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's not necessary, but like
Maybe
Especially
they
like dude toes are disgusting.
They sense that on your application. They're like, "She's not into
She's not
foot play. It's not happening."
She wouldn't sit on a foot. We're getting her out of here.
I bet I could take a whole foot. I got a wide set vagina.
I'm learning so much.
That's awesome.
Okay, so New York versus LA. Where are you on the spectrum?
Damn.
I know it's hard.
You know what? At the moment, I'll say LA, but I am saving money just in case I want to move back to New York in about a year. Yeah,
Aw.
I'm giving myself a year.
Because you miss the comedy, right?
I
You miss doing the live shows.
The live shows. Yeah, I think that's more me. Like I'm more of like a live performer than like a someone who just tweets all day, which is, there's nothing wrong with tweeting all day. And like people have made a lot of money off of it.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's my
People
style.
have made a lot of money off of being Instagram models.
Yes.
And I still don't understand how that happens. I can't figure it out.
I have a friend who does it, and she's this large, beautiful black woman, and she has a deal with like Fashion Nova, and so she has to
that's
do
one of
like
those.
10 pictures every so often or whatever. But it's super inspiring. Her Instagram is awesome.
It's not a bad gig.
Yeah.
So, I mean, outside of comedy, in terms of culture, which do you prefer, New York or LA culture?
Damn. Well, you know, I've been on this like, because I've been couch surfing for a while. So I've been like, I have to go out and see things. And LA has some pretty cool stuff to go look at. I'm like really impressed. I mean, it's stuff you have to go find. New York, you can just walk outside your door and boom, there it is.
Yeah, it's in
love
your
that.
face.
I love
Yeah.
that stimulation in New York. Like, I don't know, because last time I was there, it was like for 3-4 days, and I missed it. Like, I was like, oh, I want to go back. But when I was there for 2 weeks, I ended up getting like a cough that didn't go away for 5 months.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, oh, I'm so good on New York for now.
It's like healthier out here in general.
Yeah.
It is. I touched the subway pole and I forgot to wash my hands. I was sick for like, and I never get sick, but I was bedridden for 3 days.
Is that code for a masturbator? Subway pole.
Well, that's the thing about New York. Like, you can't escape any of it, right? So, like, the great part, all the simulation, but then also, you know, there could be a guy jerking off on the subway in front of you,
Definitely.
or like you can't escape the pigeons. You can't.
You can't, and there's no space. Like this morning, I really did have some yogurt and blackberries and sat with a dog and like on a front porch. You know, you can't really do that.
Do you guys want to start asking the last few questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have
Cool.
a couple questions for you that we ask most of our guests.
Great.
So we're South Asian. Surprise! Da-da-da. And we always ask if who your favorite South Asian celebrity is.
I don't know a lot of people.
There's we can name some. There's like MIA, Hassan Minaj.
MIA. I didn't know she's from Southeast Asia. Okay, great. She's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Really?
I love her bird flu song.
Oh,
I
nice.
like pump myself up to that song.
Yeah. She's dope.
She's from Sri Lanka, so just south of India.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. She's Tamil.
So what are some other ones? I'm sorry I cut you off.
Hassan Minaj. There's like Priyanka Chopra is big now here.
Frida Pinto.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. Frida Pinto. Someone also said Padma Lakshmi.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like others who are
Mindy
like
Kaling, Aziz Ansari,
Dr.
Hari
Sanjay.
Kondabolu.
Sanjay Gupta.
That's great.
Gupta.
I'm also really bad at names. So like I don't think I could even name a white actor. Right?
Yeah.
Who are
Chris. One of the
Are there-
Chris's. I don't know.
so from your UCB New York days, from your sketch days, are there like South Asians that you've been like working with and that you know of, like your class of comedians that you're like you just want to give a shout out, or anyone that you like grew up in comedy around?
That's okay. I'm my brain. I'm sorry. I'm a bad guest.
totally fine. I know.
No, you're a
Good
wonderful
guess.
guest.
Great.
Good guess.
Do you know Subha? Subha
Suba
Agarwal.
Agarwal.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and like
Suba.
Sonia Vai and Carmen Naidu. They're all like
And-
our New York people. We do shows with them.
Wonderful. Yeah, they're great. Again, I'm bad at names and people and things, but Suba, I mean,
I was super on the spot, so it's all good.
I saw her perform at this club that is now demolished, but I saw her on stage before I even started doing stand up, and I was like, this girl's funny. And then my boyfriend, I think he like brought me down to use the bathroom. He's like, some stand up, babe, because he was doing stand up.
Yeah.
And then I started doing it, and then I got better than him, and he quit.
Yes, I
Did he
love
really
that.
call you Beb?
And he's like, hey, babe. Yeah,
Bab.
he's from Westchester, I think.
Yeah, that's how they talk up there.
And it's very, his family comes from like a comfortable middle class, but they were weird with money. Like his sister brought home lobsters for us all to eat, like a big lobster dinner. And then we were like, wow, this seems really expensive. And she's like, don't worry, you're all going to pay for it. You just don't know yet.
What?
And I was like,
What?
what? And then she made everybody in her family cut her a $20 check.
Oh.
That's so weird.
It's so weird, right?
That's weird.
Roast a chicken. It's so cheap and everybody loves it. Why are you getting
Yeah.
lobsters?
Oh my God.
It's such a strange trick.
I know.
Eat the lobster.
If something costs market value, just go for the thing with the price. Like, if it's
So
an
weird.
issue.
I just like make a run to Taco Bell and be like, nah, bitch, eat your own lobster.
It's like halfway through the lobster too. Like, tell me.
Yeah,
What,
how you
she's
gonna tell you after the fact?
Yeah, she's a crazy bitch. But that's that family.
So you're a fan of Suba, as are
Yes.
we. Another question for you. Do you have any questions that you've always had on your mind about like South Asian culture, South Asian food?
And
Any-
just to give you the rundown of the countries: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka.
No question is weird. It's a safe space.
Vietnam, is that considered Southeast Asia?
That's Southeast, but we're South Asian. So like Southeast, I think that's Southeast.
Yeah,
right?
that's Southeast.
Yeah. So that's
We're the subcontinent.
basically
we're the
people
brown
that look like
Asians.
us, the brown ones.
The food I'm guessing is a little more. Is it like roasted food, or is it like spicy pho, or is it like a soup, or
We have lots of curries and,
Curry,
and
yeah.
rice and flatbreads.
like naan?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love me some naan. That's delicious. Everybody has. Every culture has some kind of bread with meat in it. Do y'all have that?
I have that. Pakistanis have that.
Yeah, we have. There's like you can get naan with meat inside of it. Also samosas.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Samosas, yeah, but I've never seen naan with meat in it.
Yep. It's in there.
Wow.
It's beef, so that's probably why.
Oh yeah,
You can get with like ground
the
beef.
whole
or-
Hindu thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I'm
lots of-
hungry now.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I'm starving.
Lots of spicy stews,
Ooh.
lentil stews.
I love lentils. I like making them. I cook them in some chicken stock and some
Yeah.
thyme and a little that's good.
Oh, can I bitch real quick?
Sure.
I was just in the Bay Area and I went to this restaurant called Dosa, and they serve like dosas and like all of that stuff. But
For
they
our
food.
listeners, that's like it's like Indian crepes,
Yeah.
savory crepes. Yeah.
there was the one that we went to in San Francisco, but I went to one in Oakland, right? And I don't know if both of them changed or whatever, but they gentrified the shit out of it, and they literally put mango lassi in like tiny little fancy bottles, and then their napkins and their like things said, "Be civilized, eat with your hands." And I'm like, bitch, we didn't think it was fucking terrible. There was no brown person in the restaurant except for me.
Oh no.
And it was
so condescending.
it's so condescending. I'm gonna like tweet at them or something, because I was like, this is like, why would you make that association? Like, it was so
It
insulting.
said, "Be civilized, eat with your hands."
Yeah, as though it's not.
Well, yeah, that's the
As though people think
implication.
that it's not. And I'm like,
Okay.
you're fucking perpetuating
And so
some bullshit.
this is like, you guys call me out for being a bitch about customer service. This is when I would have talked to the manager right away.
No, I
Like, I
I
would've
took
done that.
pictures of it, and I'm gonna like tweet at them, I think, because I was too angry in the moment, and my friend was like, she suggested the restaurant. She was like, I don't know if it's not gonna be good enough Indian food, and I was like, no, it'll be fine, because we ate at the other place that one time. But I hate their advertisement now, and they like
Yeah.
explain everything, and it's like, but at the top on their napkins, at the top of their things, like right on the tray, it just says, "Be civilized, eat with your hands." And I'm like, this is so insulting.
So they were
to
really
me.
hammering it in.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
everywhere.
And was there some sort of repercussion for not using silverware?
No, there was silverware in there, and like you would eat with whatever, but it was just like, it's just like, why would you bring that up?
And how do you
like-
eat naan with like something other than your hands?
I watched
you know?
I watched my friend eat a
Samosas?
dosa or like and a samosa with not her hands.
They wouldn't let you eat a samosa with your hands?
No. It's not them letting me. My friend just didn't want to eat with her hands, and I
Yeah.
watched her eat a samosa with a knife and fork, and I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
breaks apart everywhere.
She was just like, yeah, it was so funny.
It's like
She was
eating pizza with a knife.
exactly. I was like,
fork.
I do
you're a little
that.
weirdo.
Which I've done.
I
sometimes,
do
but-
that.
That's
All
what
right,
Donald
anyways.
Trump did. There's a picture of him eating a pizza with a fork and a knife.
Yeah, because he's got dental work. When you have dental work, you can't ruin it by like biting into things. You don't know what's gonna happen.
The first time and last time Zara's ever taken Trump's side.
That man has dentures. Okay,
He does. All right. Well,
All right. That's the only time, okay?
That's
Because
the
I
only time.
understand dental work. That's all. That's all. But now I'm hungry
Yeah.
and I want some lentil stew.
So
So
we're gonna
let's figure out where we
end
can get
this.
this happen.
where can we
happen.
find you, Amber?
Amber Smelson, Smelson. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Well, not really on Facebook that much. I also co-run a podcast called The Brighter Side. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's about positivity and yeah.
I was on it and it was so fun.
Yeah, you were on
It
it.
was great.
That's awesome.
Great. You can find us at Facial Recognition Comedy on Facebook and Instagram and our Patreon and our website, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. I think we'll already have done our show in New York by the time this comes out. But we have a show at West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica at 9 p.m. on the second Sunday of every month. I'm Pallavi Gunalan. That's PALLAVIGUNALAN on everything.
Ooh, I'm tired. I'm Zara Ali. You could find me on all the social medias as Really Zara. Zara is spelled Z as in zucchini, A as in apple, H as in
Haram.
Haram. Halal, actually.
Or halal, yeah.
Halal. R as in, I don't know, raspberries.
See, they already forgot the first
A
half
as
of
in
your
apple.
name.
Thanks, guys.
And I'm Fizza Dasani. You can find me at Fizza Dasani, Twitter, Instagram, and FizzDasani.com for the website, and at the Fizza on Facebook. I'll spell it for you really quickly. F as in Frank, I as in Island, Z as in Zebra, A as in Ant, and A as in Asshole. That's how you spell your name for customer service. And they'll still fuck it up.